Hello and welcome to the Carbitrage Podcast, episode 256. I'm Eric Berger, joined as always by my co-host Ryan Sinetsky. Hello.
I'm frowning.
Because of the Budweiser?
Yeah.
There was something in there you could have
I
had.
could have, but I wanted to complain on air.
All right.
I really don't like Budweiser. I want everybody to know that Hamm's is better.
Especially coming from Spotted Cow.
Every time I drink a Budweiser, I go, why am I not drinking a Hamm's? It's cheaper and better. Because Hamm's is just cheaper and better.
Mhm.
Like, you drink Hamm's or you drink expensive beer. There's no in between.
That's pretty much accurate,
It's like,
yeah.
this is like a cigarette. Like, why are you smoking a cigarette? Oh, because I need to gun down a heater real quick. Why don't you have a pipe? It's better and cheaper. Or why don't you smoke a cigar? It's more refreshing.
I can't even comment on this metaphor.
This is just bad in every way. This is the cigarette of beers. It's disgusting.
Welcome back, Dan.
Thank you, guys.
Hi, Dan.
Sorry for interrupting Ryan's rant on Budweiser, but I figured I should mention that you are indeed here once again with us.
Oh, no, please, I'm a figment of your imagination.
Dan isn't actually here. It's me changing my voice.
Deja vu?
Nope, I'm just here. He's actually a character that I've created.
Character or caricature?
Character.
Oh. Can it be both?
Yeah,
It-
absolutely.
It's like Max Headroom.
I wish you were a ventriloquist now.
So I can make like a Max Headroom of Dan.
I'm picturing this now, and I'm enjoying it. I'm in picture. It's enjoyable. I like the idea of you being a ventriloquist, because I bet it would get really out of hand.
I'll agree with
I'm
that.
sure it would.
Anyway,
Yes.
so Ryan briefly started in on the beer component of this episode, which is Budweiser, because that's all I have left, really, except for the one better beer that he could have had and didn't have.
I also have a thing. It's a very Minnesotan thing to not drink the last of anything or eat the last of anything.
That is true.
Yep.
I
and
try
that's
to
the thing. I don't
squash
do
that
I'm
everywhere I go.
Not trying to
Okay.
drink or eat the last of your good beer and have you be stuck with a shitty Budweiser. Because I know if I was...
Problem is, I am also from Minnesota,
My
and
problem...
I'm working through that same issue.
I'm just thinking about if somebody drank my last Hamm's and I was stuck drinking a porter on a day like this. And I'm like, nope, not doing that. I'm going to go ahead and drink some milk.
Oh,
Because
God.
it's going to be more refreshing.
It's so damn hot. Milk was a bad choice.
Yeah. Like,
That's all I can see
that's
in
what
my
a
brain
porter
right
is,
now.
yeah.
Easy.
Okay. Before we get into topics, head on over to patreon.com/carbitrage. On this super cool customized website, you will find 2 open-ended levels of support for content consumers like you to support content producers like us. Patreon.com/carbitrage. And since we're on the more promotional vein already, I do want to talk about Carmmunity, because we mentioned this a little bit on the last episode, but we really didn't cover it much. When we had Dan on in 2018, this was absolutely a thing we discussed, but it wasn't nearly as, we'll say, real at that point as it is today.
His community app was at the state that the Ultima online game that I'm working on is in currently.
I do love the honorable mention in there, though.
I'm
That's
not sure.
I'm
Are
very
you-
excited.
Dan,
Very
have
accurate.
have I explained that game to you?
No,
It's-
actually.
So we always play like games at the LAN party. So I make in my winter time I have a winter hobby, and that's Unreal programming.
Hmm?
And so I'm making a game called Ultima Online, which is basically Twisted Metal, but with just Nissan Altimas.
Oh, okay. This sounds
And
good.
it takes place in North Minneapolis.
Oh, no.
And the way that you level up your cars, you start with like the highest credit score you can. You have a brand new, very nice Ultima, and the Ultima, as you get kills and as it goes through battle, gets worse. And as it gets worse, you're able to modify it. Every time it's damaged, you modify it more.
But
and
no
your
actual
modifications, your modifications are like machine guns and stuff. And
Okay,
eventually, at the
so
end of the game,
Death race, basically.
it's at the
Not taillight tape?
yeah, don't worry, it's there.
Okay, good.
But yeah, towards the end of the game, you basically just have like the Twisted Metal like clown like truck.
Sure.
It's just a Nissan Altima with like a phalanx like point defense system on the roof. So
I just like the idea of starting with like a Sentra and a really bad credit score and working your way up to an Ultima or a Maxima. But like you get progressively worse conditioned cars because you're still buying them at a buy here, pay here place. And the more cars you buy and trade up, the worse your credit score gets because of those bills.
The game's still early on. I'm still working out driving physics and stuff, so
Oh,
I can
yes.
easily totally change the way that the actual work.
I will
game
play it
flow goes.
no matter what you come
Either
up
way,
with.
it's gonna be fun. Yeah.
But yeah, Ultimate Challenge has real prospects.
Also, the entire soundtrack is my friend Josh does he does beats for like on like Fiverr and stuff for like
Nice.
like SoundCloud rappers and stuff.
Sure.
Where it just does like cheap like Fruity Loop Studio beats. So I'm gonna have him record beats, and I'm gonna record the beats through my phone, and that will be the music in the game.
Can you like edit in like a little bit of like blown speaker cone crackle?
Don't worry, it can happen naturally.
Good. Excellent.
Okay, guys.
Fantastic.
I think I'm gonna resign from Carmmunity. I'm all in on this idea.
This is what you're doing.
I was looking
now.
for VC for Carmmunity, but I am on
Yeah,
board
sorry.
with
Now
Ultima
we're
Online
just
now.
we're making the dumbest video game in the world for
Yep.
our LAN party. Like 6 people come to.
Which I'm happy because then we can leave it named Ultima Online.
Yes, and it
because
will
otherwise,
not-
like
yeah.
you'd never be able to use that
No, I'm
trademark.
gonna spend
not at all.
literally the only thing I'm gonna spend money on in this entire game is I really don't want to have to make an Ultima in Blender, so I'm actually gonna pay for a couple of Ultima models. But like you can get them on like Turbo Squid and stuff for like $30.
That's pretty
So
good.
That's fine for
And
Yeah.
those
that.
are based on like SolidWorks files
Yeah.
or something.
No,
else.
actually, there's a few that are photogrammetry photographed.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Like, because people photogram everything. And
I mean-
one of those things is a Nissan Altima. You see in a parking lot, you just walk around it and take photos.
I was gonna say I don't have access to an Ultima, but I do have access to like a laser scanner, so I'm not sure if that produces
there
a
we
file
go.
that you
That
could
might be better.
read.
That would be very
But
cool.
we could laser scan an Ultima.
Oh no.
It's actually
I bring it
interesting.
home
I'm
sometimes.
kinda
I don't know.
curious
Scanned
about
my
that.
house for fun.
Because one of my other little projects I'm working on is a first-person shooter. And it's a pain in the butt to make guns.
Sure, it's not
I'm
just
like, I
DLC
just, like,
for
bring all
Ultima
my-
Online.
I've already been asked at work by one of our VPs if it could laser scan a gun.
Well, I'm not going to make it to make a ghost gun. I'm going to make it to put it into a FBX file to put in a video game.
He wanted it to make a custom CNC wood stock,
Huh.
but he wanted like a 3D model of the butt
That would
of the
actually be
firearm.
really cool.
And yes, we definitely could do it, but we didn't.
Oh, anyway, moving on.
Ultima Online. Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry, back to Carmen.
No, it's okay. I'm always looking for spin-offs.
So yeah, last time you were here, we were talking mainly about, like, I know we covered your favorite events, whether they were MNCEC or otherwise in Minnesota. We did talk about Carmmunity, what it was going to do, but it's changed a little bit since then. So, I mean, I don't want to leave it so open-ended that you don't want to jump in as you would normally, but I'm not worried about that with you. So
Yeah.
fill me in on the changes that have happened since 2018.
Yeah. Let's see.
It
I think
exists.
the
That's the
yeah,
first change.
certainly that.
It is
Yes.
actually on my telephone.
Yes, I've
Yes.
used it.
Having a working version, as it turns out, requires a lot of funding.
Yes.
So since 2018, I mean, that was when we were looking at like scalability, like how do you build this right with the right code language? There's 3 or 4 out there that most people use, and the one that we chose at that moment in time, as it turns out, is the one that is like hugely on the decline now.
Great.
Yep.
Super.
So very soon, and by soon I mean within the next, let's say, year, we'll probably transition over to that new language as our old one is deprecated.
Super.
Wow, I'm really happy that that Unreal Engine uses blueprints, which it made for the game system. So,
Also,
like,
I
I
think
can
they're-
just turn my brain off and connect lines to other lines instead of having to like do like Java programming. Remember like stuff I learned in high school.
Oh, yeah.
And I think like UE4 and 5 are compatible with elements from previous versions of UE too.
Yeah.
So
Unreal Engine's great. I
it
love
is fantastic.
though not useful
Stray.
for what you're doing.
I'm very envious
Right.
of video game design sometimes.
Actually, you can do a lot with blueprints. You could probably make a rudimentary, not very good looking or operating version of your app, but I could probably make Carmmunity.
Stray is also built in UE4.
Really?
Yes,
Oh.
with I actually watched that being made, and that was made in UE4 with blueprints.
Also a fantastic game. I
Yes.
highly recommend it.
It's very cool. But
I
yeah,
haven't played through a new game since 2000 until that came out,
that's amazing.
start to finish.
And you've finished it.
I did it in 2 sittings, yeah.
That's amazing.
And I am horse shit at games. Really bad,
Yeah,
as
that's
Bricklane
one-
can attest
That's
to.
one of the things I'm doing. I actually have you in mind with my first-person shooters. There's no overshields in the game.
Good. Thank you.
Yes.
If you shoot somebody and your bullet hits them, they die.
So I've,
That's the kind of game I would like.
well, what I've been doing is when I make the first-person shooter that I'm working on, because I can't do just one project. It's like a project car. You do more than one, because if you get frustrated with one, you move on to the other.
And that's going to be an Ultima?
Yeah,
Because
it's
you already have
Ultima.
the asset, right?
Yeah. So like Ultima in this, I go back and forth on which one's like pissing me off
I was
more.
making a joke.
Because that's like every hobby of mine just pisses me off at all times. But anyway,
That's actually good in some cases, though.
Yeah.
Because it keeps you interested in your hobby.
yeah, that's exactly it. Is it.
Assuming you don't quit when you face,
No, I don't.
a challenge.
I
Yeah,
don't.
I
'cause
don't associate with those people.
I don't like being defeated. I take it very personally if I get defeated.
I'll take time
in
off,
something.
but I don't give up.
Yeah. And so with Unreal, what I'm doing with the first-person shooter is, with old first-person shooter games like GoldenEye and Perfect
yes.
Dark, they didn't make the enemies harder. They made the levels more complicated.
Okay.
And that's something that's gone by the wayside, because now it's just enemies are harder. Like, no, they shouldn't be harder. Make them more accurate and make the levels more complicated. But if I shoot somebody in the chest, they go down.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So that's the thing. Is like you shoot the security guard or the armed dude, bad guy, whatever the hell. I don't want to go into like details about the storyline because I don't have it all worked out yet. But like you shoot bad guy in chest, he goes down. It's not like Halo where it's like I've now emptied 2 magazines and this dude's still coming at me. Like that's just bothers me. Or
Me
like
too.
if he does have like an over armor, like I'm working on a armor in the game, which is like kind of like heavy body armor.
Sure.
And
like,
when you see it visually explode off as you hit it, and
so
that's
it
what
can't
does.
absorb an entire mag in body armor?
No,
While the person's
like-
still, like, also unphased.
Yeah.
You get shot
No,
while
no,
you're wearing body armor,
it's-
you still go down, you're just not dead.
So that's the thing. Is actually I've hard programmed into the projectile in the game that the projectile has X amount of mass and hits with X amount of force, and body weighs X amount. And the forward momentum gets canceled out at least a little bit, even if they're wearing heavy body armor. It's like some like
Good.
big like ripped like alien dude with like a machine gun. Like he still gets slowed down a little bit when he gets it.
I can't
Sure,
wait to
like,
see the mods on this. Just like decrease character mass to like
bouncing around the
attempt
room.
basically.
Maybe I'll make. I know how to make cheats in the game now. So
Can you put the Left 4 Dead 2 cat gun mod in there with the heart muzzle flash, please?
Oh, there we go.
I just make that a gun.
Perfect,
Like
thank
an
you.
Unlockable extra.
Make them Teletubbies, too. I
But
want
that's the
that
thing.
mod.
Is like, yeah, with like video games, like you just stop making the guys harder. Stop making them bullet sponges. I don't care about that. Nothing makes me unimmersed in a game like when I open up Cyberpunk and I
Oh my God, yeah.
dump an entire magazine from a submachine gun into a dude and he's just like walking.
Like, I understand that I'm going to die just the same, but that's fine, because it's also realistic when I get hit. But yeah, I
very
agree. And Hell Let Loose went on sale last week, and I missed it.
That's a really good game. I call it a PTSD simulator. Cause
Oh my goodness, Ryan. the shit that comes out of your face.
That's all right. To be fair, there've been 3 reviews I've called it that,
Okay, all right, fine.
and one of them was from actually a veteran that like does video game reviews on first-person shooters. He goes, "Yeah, no, this is triggering." Like he's like, "This is the like very accurate for how the game feels." He's like, "I'm gonna play this in small batches,"
Okay,
so it's a good game.
all right. I'm not saying you're wrong. I mean, I'm sure you're not.
But yeah, Hell Let Loose. That's a whole game.
I
love
will.
that.
I
It's
will
so
buy it
good.
as soon as I can get on a Humble Bundle.
Nothing's better than just spraying a Tommy gun at a building from like across a farm field and having one lucky shot drop a guy out of the building. Yeah.
We are still really good at tangents here.
Yes.
Oh, I know.
Anyway,
So
about
I
your
know
app.
How about that new language?
Yeah, right. No, so basically what we learned in 2018, 2019 was that our development pace at that point, when it was just as co-founders,
Yeah.
was maybe like by the time we got to the goalpost had moved because of
Are
the
you
pace
using a
of
sports
technology.
analogy
Yeah,
with us?
yeah. Okay, fine.
By
Basically,
the time you reached the objective, the difficulty got harder.
Oh.
And you had 2 more objectives to complete.
Oh, so it's like completing a block on mining.
Yes,
When the
exactly.
network hash rate increases.
Yep.
Ah, thank you.
yeah,
Yeah.
except like by that point in time, like you're already like outdated too.
Yes.
Oh, so you're on a 3 gigabyte GPU
You
that
have
can
to
no
update
longer
the
mine
game.
Ethereum.
You have to
Here's
update
the better
game.
one. Every time like
Switching to a new algo.
Lexus or like Acura releases their new like Halo car,
Yeah.
technologically
No,
it's
you mean-
outdated.
Every time Lexus creates a new Halo car, Acura has a normal car, and they're like, "Great, cool. Now we can't even compete."
Yep, basically.
Thanks,
Aside from
Integra.
those like few redeeming qualities. But so 2020, right in the beginning, we kicked off our seed round and whatnot, and then the entire world went to shit. So we knew that we basically had at least a year to like develop everything, and during that year, I watched a lot of our competitors die as well because they were all very like event centric.
Yes.
So it was basically just a platform for like maybe telling everyone what your car is, and then going to a map or a list and seeing what car events there are near you.
Yeah.
And when there aren't car events for like an entire year, how can
What
you
do
really
you
have
do?
a sustainable business model?
Right.
So the cool thing is during that time, me and my girlfriend Brooklyn, we basically put together a database of automotive businesses across the U.S.
Yes,
because
you did.
I was looking at it more from an engineering perspective and saying, how can we provide value to the community, which technically has always been the goal here.
Yeah.
But in the past, it was a little bit easier to say, like, okay, people are posting you on here, bro, and, Facebook groups, right? So they want to know,
BMW.
exactly, right? They want to know who other enthusiasts are that they are around, which, like, okay, easy enough. If everyone has a profile and you have GPS info, you can just have, an algorithm basically pair people like Tinder or anything else.
Yeah.
Events,
Tinder.
pretty
I hope it
easy
works
as
better
well,
than
right?
Tinder. Let me put it that way.
Certainly.
It's more of a Bumble.
But then, like, people are
I should
always
probably get
asking,
back
like,
on that.
where should I get my car tuned? Where do I go for a low car-friendly alignment? Where
Yeah.
do I get window tinting? Stuff like that, right? So that's where we put together a database of, like, 175,000 businesses across the U.S.
I actually was able to discover a shop next to my house from your app that
Really?
I was not aware of. I did not know that JWP Auto was literally within walking distance of my house.
Easy peasy.
Don't they have
And
two
because
locations?
of the app,
Mm-hmm.
I actually now have been shopping with them.
Yeah, and so like down the road, what I want people to be able to do is like, let's take me for instance. I'm an Evo owner.
Yeah.
Evo.
Locally, I know where the two shops are that like tune and build Evos.
What
are,
happens
right?
when you're in Seattle?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so like we can cross-reference the vehicles that you have, under your profile versus where you are in, the US or the world potentially.
Yeah.
And then if you're looking just for like window tinting or dyno tuning or whatever type of automotive service, we can just return that list to you super easy.
And that's something that I think there's a lot of. You might want to get closer to your mic too. I can't hear you, but
Yes.
when I can't hear I don't have
It's
headphones
okay.
on. But
I'll push them towards you passive aggressively if there's a problem.
But anyway, with like window tinting, that's something where that's regularly usable because
Also-
Jana's dad has a Solara convertible that he brought down to Florida, not thinking about the fact that he now owns a car in Florida, and he's got a leather interior.
Yep.
So guess what's going to happen to that without window tint? Yeah, it's about to be a paper interior.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Especially Toyota leather.
yeah, not knowing I guarantee you, he does not know where there's a single tint shop that's any good. And having somewhere like Carmmunity where they have to actually reach out to enthusiasts, that level of like entry for them also makes it a little bit easier to know that you're getting a quality product out of that. So that's pretty cool. That
Yeah,
they
I
actually
mean-
have to they have to say yes, we do in fact exist and we do in fact do this. It's not like going on Google Maps and it's like some dude out of the back of his trailer with some like black plastic bags that he's gluing to your window he bought at AutoZone.
Sounds about right.
And I
So-
like the fact that it will present options too, because
Yes.
I am unique, I guess, in this because I've been using Tint Pros for the last 14 years.
Mhm.
Their pricing now, outside of me doing a tint day here, if I go to their shop, their pricing is so far higher than their competition. I don't use them on most jobs anymore.
Yeah.
Because they're expanding so fast like Eurotech that their overhead is causing them to just shoot their prices through the roof, and people are buying it because they're still a one-stop shop. They do a great job,
Yeah, they're still good.
and their reputation's fantastic.
but
But
you can find other places.
Yeah, I was gonna
can.
say if you want 95% the quality for 50% the cost, it makes sense to do that.
Exactly.
But Sun Control has been around longer. They have a stellar reputation. They use the same product, same warranty, and it is half the price of Tint Pros now.
Yep.
So it's like, oh shit, that was the opposite when I started using Tint Pros. And like, friendship goes a long way, and they still give me the friend rates, but I can't refer somebody to them in good conscience knowing that they're going to pay that same thing.
Yeah.
So I could tell them, hey, on Carmmunity, there is another tint shop that you should at least get a quote on, and then make your own decision based on
Yeah, and there's plenty of other, future possibilities that we have with this platform, which is great. But a lot of it for me is, for starters, right, we're seeing a generational divide across all current social media forms, which, like, Facebook's now Boomer Book, which you might as well call me a boomer at this point then.
Speaking
Same, bro.
of such,
Uh-huh.
the being able to post photos and stuff in Carmmunity is really nice. I've started doing that, and recently Instagram has become worse TikTok.
Yep.
Their update is bad.
It's so bad, and I'm actually was going to update my Carmmunity app since it's still in beta. It doesn't update through the store.
No. We're in the Google Play Store.
Oh,
now.
yeah, updates through the store. All right,
Yep.
cool. I'm updated through the store after the show, because I was thinking about this morning, as I'm like, I tried to post a photo of that pre-war Peugeot that I saw.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there we go. I tried to post a photo of that pre-war Peugeot that I saw in Instagram, and it took me twice as long to do it, because Instagram made me click all these extra stupid buttons I didn't care
There
about.
used to be, it used to be like Snapchat where you just hit a button on the bottom, bam, done, story done.
Yeah,
Now,
that's it.
holy hell, dude.
Yeah, no, now I can just go to Carmmunity and be like, hey, look at this car, and then, like, Josh and Ian from Drive Cartel, because there are only 2 people I'm friends with on the app.
So far.
So far, because we're still in beta. There's like 8 we're still working our way up to full utilization. Like, they
I'll
can
get
see
back
it, and
there
then
someday.
I can go bother them with pre-war cars. I love it.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's the thing, is like, not only do we have to try and unite all the different like automotive enthusiast generations that exist right now, which is
Yeah.
obviously, you know, a
You're trying to do
60-year
everything, yeah.
gap at this point, basically. But also, you know, everyone's spread out on different social media platforms, and I get to reverse engineer what made each one special for the car community, right?
Yes.
Facebook, you know, they took over from forums because they were amazing at media upload, because they didn't have to rely on Photobucket or anything like
The
that.
media uploads killed
Right.
forums, yes.
Oh my
Forums were
goodness.
great, though, because they were organized.
Yes.
And then you have Instagram right now, which people mostly use just to document their vehicle builds.
Yep.
YouTube, if you are like you guys or influencers where you want to, you know, have your content widely viewed and it's more long form.
Yeah,
And
that's
then-
for longer form, yeah.
Snapchat and TikTok, I don't even really understand at this point, and that's where I say
So
you might as
Tik-
well call me a
TikTok,
boomer. but
I've been using TikTok a ton more than I used to. Now that
for
I've-
automotive
now,
purposes, though.
yes, actually, now that I've got wireless headphones for my phone, because I had to invest in those because my phone doesn't have a auxiliary port.
Oh, I hate that so much.
But anyway, I bought some wireless headphones, and I actually bought them for driving the Buick around, because it doesn't have a radio right now. But yeah, no, TikTok's actually pretty great. Like, TikTok is their algorithms are really good at telling me
here's
what
the
I
thing,
want
right?
to view.
That's the thing. It's just entertainment, not utility.
Actually, there is a level of utility. It's learning.
Okay, fair enough.
But it's not like you don't look it up. It's the videos are at most 3 minutes long, which I think is too long. I don't watch the 3-minute videos. I watch a minute at most.
I
on
can
TikTok.
confirm that you are pretty normal in that sense.
Yeah, like it's
Like, my view retention is insanely good on my channel, and it's about 2.5 minutes
well. So my thing is
on
like
average.
like on YouTube, I will watch a YouTube video. I want 10 to plus minutes.
10 to 20.
10 to 20 or 20 to 2 hours. Like, that's my thing. Is either I'm going to watch an actual documentary or I'm going to watch a tutorial. But
That's
like
still
TikTok,
pretty uncommon, though. The
TikTok
average
is-
watch time on YouTube is like 10 seconds.
But the thing is with TikTok is that's all that average watch time on YouTube is. You get the quick, punchy things. They get to the point. You're in, you're out, you're done. So I learned a ton of things from TikTok, actually, because my algorithm has turned from being random jokes to the normal dumb shit that I'm into, where it's like, hey, do you want to know the ins and outs of Offenhauser intake manifolds on Buick nailheads? And I'm like, fucking ain't right, I do.
I deliberately mess
here for that.
with my socials so much where I will promote the recommendations for things I have no interest in, and I will go through and actually like block and report stuff that is relevant to me. Just
Interesting.
so I can, my brain won't have inattention blindness when something is served to me that is an ad. Just so I know that it's an ad.
Okay, yeah.
So I end up getting served ads that are completely a waste of time for the advertiser.
yeah,
Just because I want to know what's an ad. And
I
unfortunately,
do that with Facebook. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Facebook, I make a point to mess with their algorithm.
I get a lot of ads in Spanish now, and I get a lot of like women's health ads.
Yeah, my ads on YouTube are mostly in Spanish, but that's because I listen to a lot of like Latin music. Because when I'm at work, I never want to listen to something in English.
Okay, that's
Because
fair.
when I'm writing,
That's
so
fair.
I'm actually writing.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, and when I'm writing and like somebody's like saying something in English,
Yeah.
I will write what they say on accident.
Oh yeah.
And
No, that's normal.
I'll be like, this 1975 Jaguar XJ6 was born and raised in South Compton. Oops, that's wrong. No, it totally wasn't. And so then I'll like throw on like Yellow Magic
That's a good
Orchestra
idea.
or like Mila Milosevic or something, Miki Milosevic or like some like Yugo Wave or something that's just not in English at all. Which is also amazing because I've recently discovered how amazing Vietnamese rockabilly is.
Okay, so do those turbo diesel like riverboats? Do they have stereos on them? Because I assume
Yes,
that's what's playing.
They do.
Okay.
And so I've learned a lot about Vietnam and how great of a country it is.
I
which
really-
the next place that Carbitrage, or not Carbitrage, that Carmmunity expands to is Vietnam.
So we can go visit it.
Yes.
If
Oh,
only.
wow.
I'll put it in the top 10, but outside the top 5.
Perfect. I'm into it. But
It's better than a no.
so this is the thing with Vietnamese rockabilly music. They were exposed to rock and roll. North Vietnam was exposed to rock and roll prior to the U.S. involvement in Vietnam.
Interesting.
So they had a very, very interesting take on rock music. And their rock music has stayed the same. It's not evolved the same as our rock music. Because Cambodia also got rock music. Basically everywhere that the CIA was a dickhead to in Southeast Asia in the 1960s was exposed to rock music prior to that.
Prior to Fortunate Son?
I was just about to say.
Yeah, like 19
Go to like,
Yeah, like
Southeast Asia
so-
song.
So like
For
all
Americans.
it's like Vietnam has like really good surfer rock.
Interesting.
And like it's ironic because like everyone says like Charlie don't surf.
It
but,
looks like such a
but
fun
Beach
place,
Boys?
man.
I want to go to Vietnam.
I want to
so
go
bad.
buy a Vespa and drive it around and then just abandon it.
I when
Like the Top Gear guys.
actually
Pretty much. Not as
when-
many mirrors, though.
When Jan and I were planning our wedding and I'm planning my suit and I fully intend on buying my suit from Adong, which is a
Nice.
yeah.
Yep.
It's a clothier in Da Nang that Top Gear went to.
Yep.
But no, I fully intend because their suits are amazing
Oh,
quality.
they're like silk, too.
And
Yeah.
they're very nice. And also, I really want to support the Vietnamese economy because Vietnam's actually a super cool country, and I fully intend on spending as much time as I can there as soon as I can afford to do so.
I agree.
I think when I retire, I might move to
Like I
Vietnam.
said, really good at tangents still.
Yes.
Yeah. No.
But keep pushing through.
Yeah. No. Absolutely.
I have
mean,
to say that to people all the time.
yeah. I mean, all the features are basically there. We have
Yeah.
a roadmap that's 3 years long now that could be rolling out like in-app event registration, a
That'd be really
marketplace
rad.
that doesn't suck because the bar is extremely low right now. Aside from
If
like
you-
bring a trip.
Maintenance
If you
tracking.
could make me a marketplace
absolutely.
for not auction stuff that I can buy, where I can just go buy like some finned valve covers for the nailhead, or like I can go buy like a TA exhaust manifold. Yes,
So,
I
yeah.
would be very here for it.
Step
like,
one
if
is
you
making
can
sure like the vehicle database is perfect.
Yes.
Because that is like you need clean data to have an effective and efficient like marketplace.
Yeah, and that's actually the thing is I find there's a thing with an effective, efficient marketplace of being able to get the right part, but for getting a screaming deal and ripping off some dingus that doesn't know what he has, like that's what Facebook's for. However, if you actually want a good vehicle, like if you're looking for an E30,
Mhm.
like you want to get somebody that knows what they have, and so you get the right car. If you're looking for like a 1950s American car,
Mhm.
you find some dingus that inherited it and has no idea what they have.
Yep.
Because those are two very separate things. Because you get some random dingus with an E30, that car's gonna be a basket case. You get some random dingus with like a 59 Buick, you're getting a hell of a deal.
Unless the E30 doesn't run, then you might be home free because it might be the same thing where it was inherited. They're like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
But that's the thing is like getting a good marketplace is
Yeah.
huge. Because right now, I'm in luck for 90s Honda stuff because I know like I can go to NWP, I
Yep.
can go to like Mugen Parts for Sale, I can go to like Rear Wheel Awareness. I've got like some like very niche Facebook groups.
Yep.
But I cannot just type in like I want 14 by 6 inch Advan A3As and a 4 by 114 like PCD, and then enter.
Yep.
And then it just comes up with some guy in California that's got some Advan A3As that I want to put on my car.
It would be so easy, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be ideal. That'd be so great having Carmmunity be like once that's implemented.
Marketplaces are really fragmented right now, so I think there is a lot of room to move in and do it
Yeah.
better.
Just gotta have the users first, and that's why
Yeah.
we're putting it like at the end of all of our other features we want.
Yeah,
to roll out.
that'll be really good. And right now, like, I have full faith in that because of what you've already done with being able to find shops. The first thing that you've added to the app has been so helpful already.
Yeah.
Because, like, with JWP, like, that's where I'm going to be buying my coilovers for my van because they have them.
They have,
Like,
yeah, they've been really recently pushing their parts departments.
Yeah, it's been Dan's help as well.
I built that website.
Yes.
I've never visited it.
It works
I'm
very
sure
well.
it's great.
Yeah,
Yes.
the interesting thing is them, Map, and so many other companies now actually work through the same like distribution
Yeah,
network.
Turn 14.
Yeah,
Then
so-
the people that own, like, Fitman Industries or whatever. Yeah.
No, not the same.
Oh, not
No.
but they own Map, don't they?
Nope.
Oh.
Sorry, the same that own Fitman Industries own Map.
That's what I
but
mean,
Turn
but yeah.
14 is a separate company.
Yeah, Turn
altogether,
14 is a
yeah.
distributor of parts. But
Yep.
yeah,
But yeah, I'm intrigued to see what the future of all of this looks like, and I think Trip to SEMA this year is probably going to reveal a lot of that to me, given like, OEM shifts because of EV, what they view as probably not valuable advertising dollars anymore,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Even last year, I couldn't believe, well, I should be able to believe, but there were a lot of vendors working on not only retrofitting existing, junkyard motor kits for EV swaps, but also a lot of people that had like bespoke powertrains. And the biggest thing I am interested in is a standalone motor management controller
Yep.
that
Yep.
just works with OEM motors.
yep, that's what I want.
Just throw the original Tesla or Nissan one in the trash,
Yep.
plug it in, away you go.
Well, AEM's going to be your brand then.
That's
I'm 99% sure they're going to be the one to do it.
The stuff they have on the market right now is functional, but it is not easy enough to use.
Agreed.
And it's not plug and play.
The day I can get a plug and play engine management system and I can run a shoebox full of 18650s and IMIF, I will buy an IMIF.
And the biggest thing is, like, that motor controller needs to also have an inverter, charger, and everything built into it as well, because
I just want to plug in my IMIF and
trusting
make
somebody
it work.
with,
Yeah.
like, a BMS, a battery management system that isn't compatible with their motor shit, they're going to be like, screw this, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Doing an
Yeah.
engine swap instead. So, like, you have to make it easy to use ubiquitous over-the-counter used parts. And as soon as they nail that with multiple options, of used stuff like, I got batteries from an i3 and a volt motor. I'm like, no problem, dude.
Yeah.
We sell a harness for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we'll be there soon.
Yeah, I think
Hope so.
having a marketplace on Carmmunity once that launches is gonna be so helpful. Because like I think it would just be really cool for me to be like, I'm in one place and posting a photo of my Mazda 5. I'm like, damn it, I really wish that I just bit the bullet on that City Cruiser body kit. You know what? I know that who are my distributors for City Cruiser. I'm pretty sure that they're nationally known. So I'm just gonna go click on add my vehicle to the marketplace, see what's their body kit, boom, City Cruiser kit.
Yep. Absolutely.
I'll buy it right there. Because, like, that couple of minutes between me taking a photo of my van saying, God, I really wish I had this, and walking to my computer, Googling, like, where to buy it, and then actually purchasing it.
No, putting it in the cart, calculating the shipping costs,
I have
figuring all
so
that
many.
crap out.
I have so many barriers in which I can stop that impulse purchase.
Yep.
Whereas, like, with me, like, I know myself that I'm too frugal for my own good.
Same.
And, like, the Buick was an impulse purchase. Because I was
Right.
looking for a Corona at that point in time. And I was like, you know what? This is actually kind of cool. I think we're going to buy it. And we went there and we bought it. That was an impulse purchase for me. Whereas, like if you actually leave me to my own devices, it'll be like my Honda Civic, where it's not been running for 10 years. Because I spent 10 years figuring out how I want to run individual throttle bodies. And I found the exact piece that I wanted. Now I'm taking forever finding the right wiring harness between an AEM Infinity engine computer and a Honda CBR 1100, or a Honda CBR 1100
Throttle
set of throttle bodies. Yeah. Just getting rid of that barrier to entry, where I could have been like, 10 years ago, I pulled my Civic apart, I could have been, you know what? Screw the ITBs. I'm just going to skunk to Ultra Manifold. And then, boom. I would have bought it, and the Skunk 2 would have got my money. They would have been thrilled, and my Civic would have been running.
Yep.
Instead of been spending all this time overthinking.
I relate to that
Yes.
a lot because, there's been like it already exists, but like that's a lot of money right up front. Where if it's served to you as you're already in the app, like, you know what?
I'm looking at the car, I'm thinking
That's
about
like
how
a
much better
turnkey
this would
amount
be.
of money, and like
Yeah.
maybe I should just do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, if it serves it to the right person at the right time, you get a sale.
Timing is everything.
Yep, absolutely.
And having a good marketplace that I can just click on a photo of my car and be like, hey, I want this. Like Mazda 5, give me some coilovers that fit Mazda 5s and Mazda 3s. Done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
certainly
they are.
agreed.
One-click PayPal checkout's enabled. That's weird.
Yep.
Yep.
Hey, I'm looking forward to that day with the app.
Coinbase
One
Commerce.
click checkout, or I can just like take my Mazda and be like, I want LED headlights. Done.
Yeah, no, we should be publicly launching this app before the Minneapolis Mile Show next month.
I'm very excited for that.
Now that the road rally's over for me, we already have the Android one in the App Store. iOS, we're literally waiting on a small feature that we're adding, which is just Apple requires you to allow all users to delete their profiles, like, within the app, basically, and, like, begin that process so you don't have to, like, visit a company's website to get your data deleted and all that. So
Sure.
as soon as we have that done, should be in both app stores, and then our launch commercial, we have a draft ready, throw some final touches on it, and then we should be going full bore with marketing.
Hell yeah.
And
I've seen the draft.
yeah.
You know what I also like about this is I can just like log in with like Facebook or Google.
Oh, single sign-on. You don't
I
say
love
how
that.
easy that is.
Fed-
Yeah.
It's so easy.
Called-
I can just
it's
click.
called federated login. For the love of
love it
God,
so
please.
much. You just click the button and it just works. And
Since I have to start
love
over on my
this.
profile because I only used beta, I will definitely be using federated login.
Yeah, I don't blame you. We do have the rewards program in there too. It's basically like Forza Horizon in real life. So like Ryan right now is probably mentioning that I referred him to download the app.
Yeah.
My username's D Balto.
D Balto.
Yep. And for instance, he'll get points, I'll get points, and then down the road here we'll be rolling out a program where for the first 10 levels it's like 1,000 points each, and then you spin a prize wheel, and that prize wheel will randomly land on one of like 40 different options of things you can win: decals, t-shirts, hats, all the different
I
merchandise.
don't immediately have a photo of the Fiat, so I have to scroll for it.
Ooh. Here, no, just go to the balcony,
That's
take
what
a
the
picture from way
favorites
up here.
portion. No, there's an eclipse blocking it.
Oh, good point. Yeah, you know what? Fine. It looks stock. Just go on Google, download a picture.
500 turbo. Bam.
Yeah, there
Done.
you go.
I've got a photo somewhere here. I'm just scrolling.
But yeah, I think by the next time I'm probably on this podcast, we'll see where the launch has gone. But I'm looking forward to generating that. I don't want to say FOMO, but at least like getting that critical mass of users.
I was gonna say getting
That's
that
needed.
initial momentum out there would be nice.
Yeah, and that's where I think the reward program should help too. We get, traceability, people want to refer their friends. Hopefully we see some sort of gold rush for usernames like what Instagram had initially.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. I
Yep.
really gotta
Oh,
get back
man.
on there.
I gotta get
Exactly.
a good username now.
Yep. And
Oh,
the cool
man.
thing is we at least automatically assign usernames if you don't choose one.
Okay.
And it's basically the random selection process from Halo 1 multiplayer.
Oh god.
So we got like,
I love that.
breezy cheese or like tender
I'm gonna
meat
change my
or,
username
like,
to
some-
Tender
Red Hot.
meat.
Yeah,
Am
I've
I-
seen it.
Oh,
I'm gonna
man.
change my username to Red Hot Leather.
Yeah, see, there you go. Doesn't even need to be pre-assigned. So, but yeah, and then we got the Minneapolis Mile, August 20th. I think you guys are both making it this year, hopefully.
Yeah, you
Yes.
told me I need to judge
I will
some
be
people
there
with
because-
BMWs, so.
Let me tell you about inflation. It is prohibitively expensive to go to California at this point in my life.
Correct.
Yes.
That I do
Actually,
knocked out.
most of the people from Japanese Nostalgia Car are bailing out this year, and a lot of people from BAT are bailing out because, like, it's insane. Like,
Scott wanted to go to Waffle House on that weekend. I'm like, no, it's the mile weekend.
Dude,
So
no,
thank
it's-
goodness you told me in advance this year, because last year we went on that weekend.
Yeah, no worries. This year, well, depends how you feel about cars. Last year we had the Ferrari F40 on display. This year it's probably going to be a Pagani Huayra and a McLaren Senna.
I do like
So
me-
a little bit of Monterey Car Week here, I suppose.
Sounds
But-
like
Huayra's cool.
search for
oh,
people.
just yesterday, Ryan, a Honda City Turbo signed up.
Very cool. That's the one that's.
Yeah.
Does it have
The
the
only
Moto
one that's
Compo
in
in the
it.
back? Or the Moto chip,
no,
whatever it
so
is?
the Turbo didn't have
Wow.
that, I
Oh.
think, if that's how
This
it is.
this is the first time I've logged on since the update, and this
Uh-huh.
goes really nicely.
Oh, see, that's the
This
thing.
is very good.
Our team, right, is like our 4 co-founders. So me and my CTO are full-time, and then we have like 3 other part-time devs.
Yeah.
Could you imagine what we could do if we had like the full-time dev staff of like Bring a Trailer or like Fitment Industries or like anyone else that has like at least 5 people working on the website?
Yeah, no, this is very nice.
Yeah.
This is all just going so nicely.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the day. So luckily, there's some boilerplate things we have in there for now, like you know,
Lorem ipsum.
not that bad,
Oh,
luckily.
all right.
But like in addition to normal photo upload, which because I have so many photographer friends, I'm making sure photo upload works well, and that we're not like Instagram where video takes priority over everything, right? We're going to be agnostic for at least the first few months.
Okay.
And then like to shortcut the video stuff for now, if you're, a YouTuber or whatever, you have content, you can actually just post a YouTube link directly to the feed and then
Right.
watch the video directly within the feed. Super easy, and it counts for views.
I was gonna say, yeah, the ad revenue is key for people like me. So.
Yep, absolutely. Go ahead, post a few links for, this podcast.
I
and
don't
we
whore
can see where
myself
it goes.
out.
Okay, I will then.
Fine. No, I mean the whole point of Carbitrage is to have fun. So we've
I
been
love
lucky
being able to
in being
just-
able to do that so far.
Find a gas station nearby.
Oh, I
What
was
about
in,
EV charge points?
Not yet, but we will eventually when
Alright.
we have a critical mass of EV users.
Fine. You
And
only
our-
have one for now.
Man,
Yeah.
so there's this app I use called Upside, where it gives you like a discount on gas.
Oh yeah, I know about it.
Yeah.
You just
Man.
report.
You report your receipt.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh man, it'd be really cool if you could partner with them at some point. But because I like your UI so much better than Upside's. Upside's is just an absolute dumpster
Even for
fire.
fuel economy tracking, I use Fuely, and their interface is so bad.
Yeah, this is a really, really good UI.
It's fuel
that you have.
economy and maintenance tracking are like the two really big things for me. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, events with Google Calendar integration, that's going to be massive.
Yep.
Because then I'll just have it programmed in my profile. Like any event that you see that you think I should go to based on an algorithm, invite me to it via the calendar,
Yeah.
and I'll see it in there even if I don't click yes.
Yeah,
It'll be perfect. So
it's
I'm
super
pumped.
useful.
I don't know if I'm able to do that though. There's definitely some permissions and some like.
If you use federated login, you can do that.
Okay, works for me.
Because I have it set up for like all the travel sites, and it will do that.
Excellent.
You
Okay.
can, you can give it permission to add events
Add
to your
that to
calendar.
the list.
Definitely enjoy this, the user experience in this app, even more so than the last time I used it. So I like it every couple of weeks.
I also like that
Like-
it's dark mode by default. Holy shit, that's nice.
So
Yes, sir.
good. Because do you know how awful it is, like when you're driving at night and you're like, I need to like, find a gas station. I pop open an app and I'm just like, cool, I can find the gas station
But I can't see
on
the
my
road anymore.
phone,
Yep.
but I can't find it IRL
Yeah.
because everything is now bright and purple.
The one thing I'm looking forward to doing, and hopefully the next year or two, is rolling it out on Android Auto and Apple CarPlay.
That'd be nice.
Because I think designing it for that is a lot more straightforward. Plus, we can bring back the drive-by feature, which was the whole like, you see users on the road and you can actually like view their profile later. We do still have that feature, but it's a lot more centric around like car events where like you're all in that area checking stuff out.
Sure.
Because of the way that GPS permissions work now, basically. The only other way we can do it is if something is like up full time now. So like Google Maps navigation, Waze navigation, those are the only two. And we got rejected from the Google Play Store for trying to do that, which I think might be anti-competitive as far as practices go. But
It sounds anti-competitive, yeah.
But nothing we can do about it, so we're moving on, and we'll come back to it when we get a chance.
Fair enough.
But yeah, hopefully like Ryan should see me as a nearby user. If you have a profile,
Excited
same
for
sort of
these
thing. So.
giveaways and
I did.
stuff. That's gonna be super fun.
Yes, sir.
I had two, but they got wiped out in the great annihilation of beta.
Not wrong.
It's fine. I'll make
Actually,
another
most
one.
of my posts from beta are here. You just have to restart your thing. But like the photo of my Fiat, I now have 2 photos of my Fiat.
I'll just make a new one. It's fine.
Because if you see, I have 2 photos of my Fiat.
That is the same photo.
It's the same photo. That was the original one, and that's the one I just updated. So
Cool.
it's still there. The info is still there.
Corporate wants you to identify these photos.
It's
Do you see the difference between these two photos? Select all these
yeah.
photos that have Fiat's 500 in them.
There you go. Yeah, done.
Oh, that's by default, actually. Right now, same on my profile and a bunch of
But
others.
yeah, so it shows like just because I had to create a new car each time.
Mm.
But it's no, I'm fine with that. It's just I've just been here forever, so I'm okay being the OG guy. So it's like on Facebook. Where you
Red
show,
Hot Leather,
Yeah, no, it's
whatever the hell your name was.
Stop it, Ryan.
Stop.
that's my global username.
I'm sure I'll just pick Ovobor, because why not?
Yeah.
Or not an EMT tech.
But, yeah. That's,
This is very cool. I'm very excited for this, and I'm happy to be getting in early as like one of the first like old car people.
Yeah, you're
Nah.
gonna have nailhead posts for days. I'm gonna need a pre-war bell at home now.
Ah man, that'd be great.
Alternatively, we build it as a feature into the app.
It's just
Nobody's going to know what the hell that means.
Notification sound and everything.
Oh, yeah. Anytime Ryan posts anything with a tag pre-1946,
You're-
automatically give me
yeah,
a
just-
bell notification.
Nope.
That's your noise pre-1946.
I think we can do that.
Please don't. Please don't.
Well, real quick before the end of the episode, I want to talk about something that's very cool, and it is evaporative cooling devices.
You're talking about Peltier coolers? No, you're talking, okay, like a swamp cooler.
Coolers,
Okay,
yes.
yeah.
Swamp coolers for cars, because Jan's Buick's going to need one. Because I do
They
not...
don't work in humidity.
Well, that's the thing. I was actually talking to Dan, and I think it'd be very cool. There's a way to make it work. Like, you just need a dehumidifier before it gets to
Oh
you.
my god.
I know, he's about to over
So you want to
this.
superheat the air that you're about to shove through a swamp cooling device to cool the charge?
But the superheated air goes out of it.
A dehumidifier is an air conditioner.
But just be a very small one.
But it's not going to do enough.
It'll be fine. Because you have a bunch of airflow going through. I think the airflow would cancel out the tiny dehumidifier.
I hope for your sake that it would, but I don't think that it would.
Anyway, I really would like a swamp cooler in the Buick because A, it would look rad, and B, there's no air conditioner in that car.
And C, they're extremely cheap and easy to make.
Yeah. Also, holy crap, 1960s cars
Yeah.
cool so nice.
Well, yeah, because they're designed to not have AC. Like those little like tip-out quarter light windows.
Yeah, the
vent windows.
yeah, they're so nice. I almost want to like. I'm gonna go like do some deliveries for DoorDash for like busy work while Jana's like at work this afternoon after this. I don't like low key want to take the Buick because it's gonna be nicer than the Fiat in like this sort of temperature. But I also don't want to get 9 miles per gallon while driving around doing nothing.
Yeah.
9 miles per gallon on a good day. It's probably like 1.
I
Yeah.
do
That
care
makes your
about
time
that, but I
almost, like,
need to
Worth
a net
discuss it.
zero.
It is
Yeah.
more than a net zero. Yes.
Especially when you count, like, I mean, the wear and tear is minimal on a car like that, but still, it's there.
Yeah. And also, unless I'm doing like the occasional once in a blue moon DoorDash, like, I drive nowhere. I drive to Target, which is across the street.
I drive a lot still.
There's a light rail that's in my way. That's why I drive. That's literally the barrier of me walking is I don't want to have to deal with this stupid light rail. I just sit in my car and wait for the light rail to come by.
This is a little bit tangential, but not entirely. I was digitizing some DV tapes for an old friend that I worked with, Dave, at Recycle BMWs.
Okay, yeah.
He got a camcorder in like 2004, and he just recorded everything for like 2 years. I'm like, weird. Okay, the camera broke, but he had all these tapes. I had a working mini DV camcorder. I imported it, in addition to a ton of like BIR and Road America and DCTC stuff. He drove from basically Augsburg campus downtown through University towards his house.
That's really cool.
Pre-light rail.
That's really
Like
cool.
05. I'm like, this is kind of cool.
I would upload that to YouTube.
Well, I
with
saved a
his
copy.
permission.
I don't give a shit about his permission. I own those tapes. Funny story, they were delivered to me in a ballpark hot dog on a, how do you call it, a corn dog box. I must have been pretty out of it when I got home because I put them in the freezer. Corey wanted a corn dog, took the box out of the freezer, and he's like, Eric, did you mean to put a box of tapes in the freezer? I'm like, oh, that's where those went.
Oh my god.
So, DV tapes, no problem being sub-zero for a substantial amount of time. And that's all you need to know about that.
Wow.
Oh, that's really funny.
So anyway, I have some footage of pre-light rail University, and it was interesting to see again.
That's super cool. But yeah, like the Autopian had a really cool little article.
Great site.
Yes, it's all the talent from Jalopnik.
I was going to say Torchinsky, and I can't remember who else. but
Actually, NPR stopped using Jalopnik for their source for automotive stories. They actually like reference the Autopian now.
Good.
And like when they have to get like an auto expert on, they get somebody from the Autopian.
Good. No,
All the
I'm
time.
super stoked on that.
But yeah, they have a article that they wrote on the July 27th about swamp coolers and how they're actually very cool. That they just use hot air coming into a cooler housing with like a little return spring and then just like some glass fiber that's soaked in ice water.
Yep.
And yeah, it works great. It's
Yep.
very cool. I would
They
like to
do
get one.
function as long as it's not humid.
They function very nicely, even when it is
With ice cubes, they work really well all the time, but
Yeah.
without it, they don't work as well.
Well, that's what I mean. Is I just throw ice cubes and ice water, but
Right.
that's what I've always used. Like,
You should just get a cool suit and an ice box.
I don't want to do that. I just want to.
You don't want to disconnect when you get out the DoorDash?
Nope. I just want to wear my tiki shirt and my shorts and my flip flops and drive to Buick and do some burnouts and go at old people in Rascals that are like
Or-
having a heat stroke, eat my cheese curds and go home.
Vintage air.
No. All right,
Oh.
this is why.
Or use DV AC compressors that run on power.
Vintage air on nailheads.
Yeah.
You have to do a completely different belt system on them.
Okay, then run a DC AC compressor off like a Prius or something.
And that's kind of why, and I don't want to have to like do any modifications to the car. And this leads me back to my thing of putting a DC air conditioning unit into a swamp cooler so you can just put it in.
Right, but you may as well just use the pre-charged cooler like the other way around, right? Because then you're getting the dehumidification portion, you're just piping that outside,
Yeah,
and then you're using the cold side of it to cool you off.
yeah. That's
So,
what,
I mean, you
that's
could
what I'm
use
saying.
that. Like
It's
a Peltier cooler would be an interesting prospect, because you could run a bunch of those on an alternator pretty easily,
Yeah.
and there's no downside to that, and they work way better in humidity.
And I think with using a swamp cooler, you could put all of that together into
Sure.
one unit that requires no anything,
Other
and
than
like a
12
couple
volts.
of some batteries or some like 18650s or something.
No, I don't think you even need that.
Well, I mean,
It's
to
got a
run
big
an
alternator.
AC unit.
Well, yeah, if you're running like a compressor, but I mean,
That's what I'm saying. Like if you run like
They don't need much.
actual air conditioning, you can put one into that form
oh,
factor.
I see what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you just take that form factor, you put a very small air conditioning unit because
Yeah.
it's right next to your head.
Yeah.
It doesn't. You're not trying to cool down a school bus here.
Right.
You're trying to get maybe 2 seats out of like a giant American car that's already designed to run cool on the inside.
Yeah.
Like you're literally just dropping the temperature like 20 degrees,
Some-
maybe
some UV tint
within
would help, too.
within like 3 square feet.
Yeah.
Like you
That's
don't.
plausible.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm sure there's a low draw 12 volt AC like
Yeah.
sealed loop system
and
somewhere.
that's what I'm saying. Like, you could easily like, with a couple of 18650s,
Mhm.
like run that. Have even like put a freaking solar panel on it, like
I
a
think
tiny
you could do
one.
it with a capacitor because really
Yeah.
you should only really be worried about like the inductive load
Well, I
when
was
that
just
thing
thinking to
first
like
starts up.
recharge the batteries to get a
Yeah.
little bit more life out of them. You just
Yep.
put a solar panel, and like that could increase the battery life like an hour or so.
Probably
And like you're not driving this car on a road trip. You're driving this car like
around town.
around a car show, or you're driving this car like short distances. And I think having a small air conditioning unit would be perfect for like when now I'm in traffic, turn it on.
Have you
I would
seen-
suggest taking an RV refrigerator and modifying it to use as air conditioning
actually
because
gonna
those are designed to run on 12 volts. They are very low power draw, and a refrigerator is an air conditioner.
Yeah,
So,
I'm actually. I had this like train of thought like after I read this article
yeah,
this morning, and that's
that would work.
now going to be a thing I'm looking for is like a tiny RV refrigerator is and stuffing one into a swamp cooler like body.
Yep.
And then I can have just a functioning air conditioning unit that works in humidity because in Minnesota it's not the heat, it's humidity it gets you. 'Cause it'll be 90 degrees.
We don't have the dry heat.
Yeah, if you have dry heat, like I will happily take 100 degrees and not humid over 70 degrees and humid.
Yeah, I don't really like drinking air.
Yeah, drinking air is bad.
Alternatively, get a cooler, a box fan that fits over the opening of it.
Yeah, don't
Fill
worry.
it with ice.
That's already been a thing.
Yeah, there you go.
That was already a plan of mine. And that's something I've already
Plan
played
B
around
sounds
with.
a lot simpler.
Luckily, I've done that before in a modern car where the air conditioning didn't work well, but I've not done that in the Buick because at that point in which I require that, the Buick would not work well in of itself because I haven't gone through the cooling system. So,
It'll be fine.
but once I have the cooling system worked out, putting him like a RV refrigerator into a swamp cooler,
Yep.
would be really great.
And RV refrigerators have been running on DC for a long time, so I'm sure you can get a cheap one.
Yes, a very cheap one that exists. I like it whenever the wind blows,
Yeah, it
that
picks up
like
speed.
doubles in like RPM.
I wish I had a kilowatt on there so I could see how much lower the power draw is when the wind picks up. 'Cause I bet it's
Just
significantly.
drops to zero.
Just goes
Might.
absolutely bananas.
Maybe not zero, but I don't know. Yeah, the fan speed increases significantly.
Well, Dan, thank you so much for telling us about Carbitrage.
Carmmunity.
Excellent.
Carmmunity.
I'm not
Thank you
editing
for
this
telling me
shit,
about
so-
my podcast.
Yes.
Thank you for telling me
Welcome
about
to Carmmunity Podcast, and
and look out for the Carbitrage app. Well, anyway, thanks for coming on. I really do greatly look forward to seeing this app come to full fruition and like be more useful than it's already been for me.
Yeah,
So.
it's been 5 good years of development, and now we can finally do the Bethesda thing and have it out there. So, hopefully without the glitches.
I was gonna
Good
say,
God.
don't be a Todd Howard.
I'm gonna any percent this thing glitch run.
Oh, thanks.
Bye,
Talk
guys.
to you guys later.